Hello, Stampers. Happy Sunday. I am just setting up my iPad here so I can follow along, hopefully, if all goes well. Just give me one moment. I was sitting here waiting for 3:30 to come by and realized that I wasn't ready, that I didn't have all my stamps out on, it says an unable to load page. Hopefully we are working. It says I'm live. I'm looking up my phone. Is that lighting okay, or is it a bit shadowy? It looks a little bit shadowy. Let's see if I can fix it. Hi, Sandy, you're here. I'm just trying to load my page on my iPad so I can follow along and make sure that everything is going okay, but it's unable to load, which is not good. Not good at all. So I think we're gonna have to wing it and hope that everything is okay. Let me see if maybe I can grab it up on the computer instead of the iPad. Just give me 1 second. I'll just click around here and see. Let me load this up or refresh this and see if the computer will work. All right, I can see now. All right, so I'll put my iPad away. So today we're going to make these. Hopefully we'll make both of them. If not, we'll make one for sure. So a friend of mine who I work with, her 2 sons have joined the Canadian military. So one of them's been in the military for a year and one of them for 3. And she asked if I had some extra cards or if I could make some cards that they would send to the Canadian military that are stationed overseas. So I thought that was a great idea. My nephew this summer joined the Army. He finished boot camp. He's now stationed in Petawawa getting some more training. And when he does get deployed, I think it'd be really touching for him to receive something from just somebody from home, right? They're going to be missing home. They're going to be out in not nice areas and doing stuff for us. So I thought it was a great idea. So with this in mind to send to the military, I designed these 2 cards. So I thought I would make them today. And if anybody is interested in donating some cards that they have made or in getting together and making cards that we can send to the military, let me know. You can reach out to me. You can message me through Facebook, or you can find my email on my webpage. And I would be happy to work with you to do that, because I think it's a great cause. So we're gonna make these guys. So what we need is, we're gonna be, for the first card, let's just talk about the first card. So for the first card, we're gonna be using the Gangs All Meer, and this is a celebration item. So this is free. If you're in Canada, if you purchase $60 or more before tax and shipping, you can pick this stamp set out for free. Is this not the cutest? Oh my goodness, they are so cute. So it's the Gangs All Meer. So we're going to be using that today, and that's this one here. And the other thing that we're going to be using, also from the celebration, is this stone 3D embossing folder, and it's kind of hidden here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I use this almost all the time. I am totally addicted to it. But we're going to be using a little bit of a different technique with it, which I will show you momentarily. So this is part of a double, so you get the stamp set and the embossing folder, and it is a $120 item. So you can choose the stamp set and the embossing folder if you have $120 before tax and before shipping. All right, so I will put everything that we need at the bottom of this post or on my blog, one or the other, or both. So don't worry about trying to write everything down. We will be using these I love these dies. The Stitch So Sweetly dies. You can get it as a bundle with the So Sentimental bundle with the So Sentimental stamp set, or you can just purchase the dies on their own. You do get a 10% discount if you purchase them together, and that's in the mini catalog. All right, so to get started, and here's the dies here that we're going to be using. We're using this one and this one, the ones that are not neatly in there because I kind of just threw them in. All right, so to make this card, we need a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 of soft suede, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4. We need a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 of the Sahara sand. And we need a piece of 5.5 by 4 of Whisper White, and that's for the inside of the card. All right. So what we're going to do today, which is a little bit, so I don't know if you've noticed this embossing folder, okay? So if I were to just to take the piece of Sahara sand and put it in here and run it through your embossing machine, this is what it would look like. Okay, do you see the difference between the two? Okay, so what I did was I actually brayered ink into the embossing folder and then ran it through, and it makes a huge difference. Like it just adds that extra layer of depth. So here's a plain one. Here's one where I ran it through with Sahara sand, so it's tone on tone. Very subtle difference, but look at the amount of detail that comes out just by adding Sahara sand to it. Okay, I then did it with crumb cake. Not a lot of difference between the Sahara sand and the crumb cake. There is a little bit. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more distinctive, but not a big difference. I thought I would see quite a bit more. But then again, quite a bit difference from no running the ink. Okay. So here is soft suede, and here's early espresso. Isn't that cool? The other thing is, so on the back side, right, this is without, well, I got a little bit of ink here, but if you look at the back side, very plain. That's where I inked the back side of the embossing folder. So how cool is that? Like you can, with one embossing folder, you can make a whole bunch of different looks. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Really easy. Okay, really easy. All we're going to do is take our piece of Sahara sand. We're going to take our embossing folder without all of these sticky notes. I had to put the sticky notes on the back so I would remember what color they were. Now, I like this side up, okay? Where did I put them? So this, where's the one that I did both sides so you can see easily? Here we go. Okay. So I like this side up. So this side, if you want it to look like this, then you're going to put ink on the side that has the stamping up on it. If you like this side to be the inked one, then you're going to put ink on the other side, okay? But I do like this one, so I'm going to put ink with my sponge brayer on there, and that's all you do. So I will take my soft suede, okay, and this is clean. It is stained. You get I believe 2 packs, two handles and 2 sponges in a pack. I'd have to double check. Don't quote me on that, but you get more than 1 sponge in a pack. Okay, so again, I want to add the ink to the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. So I'm just going to turn this sideways, ink up my brayer. Can you see that? Am I on the screen? Sort of. Maybe. Kinda. Haha. All right, so I'm just going to ink it up, and then I'm just going to add it. That's all you do. Ink it up, add it. Okay, your this ink, when you're done, easy cleanup. All you do is run it underneath the tap. Okay, it will not stain. it will clean up as good as new. Same with your brayer, just run that under the sink and you're done. All right, then all we do is put your piece of paper here where you want it, close your embossing folder, take it, run it through your Big Shot or whatever embossing machine you have, and this is what you end up with. How cool, okay? Really neat technique, makes a big difference in your background, and it just changes things up a little bit. So, all right. So let me just take one that we've already done because I'm not gonna redo it. All right, we'll just take one of these. Okay, so here we have our background. I will put this in around for the next card. So now all we're gonna do is, I'm gonna close this because I always end up dropping things into my ink pads. If it's not things, it's me. I drop my nails in there, I drop everything in there. All right, so I have already cut this. If you're doing this at home, you probably want to not cut it, do your stamping and then cut it, and that way you'll be centered. Okay, so I'm just gonna wing it and hope that I get there. So how are you doing, Sandy? Do you have plans for the long weekend? Happy late Valentine's Day and happy early Family Day. We have a long weekend here in Ontario. We have Family Day weekend, which I'm very excited about, having an extra day off. I think we're going to go into Toronto to the boat and fishing show tomorrow. So I think that's what our plans are. We'll see how everybody feels. So I just inked this cute little meerkat up with some memento, okay? And then I'm going to do the same with this little gecko or little tiny lizard or whatever he might be. I'll just stick him here. All right. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of white, which of course I forgot to bring over scrap. Of course. All right, we'll just grab this one. We're going to fussy cut the cacti out. So I'm just going to stamp that down there. And then I might as well stamp the thank you while I'm here. And this thank you, it's such pretty font, eh? This thank you is from the Timeless Tropical. Okay, and it's just a really gorgeous, it's a gorgeous stamp set. I love this. I've been playing with this week. But it's just a very nice small font. I wanted a small font that would fit in the corner of this really nice. So I'm going to grab that, ink it up with some soft suede, and stick it. Hopefully that's straight. I can't see because I'm not over the camera. If it's not, oh, pretty good. If it wasn't, we would just pretend that it was straight. All right. Now I'm going to close this. So you're prepping for a class next weekend. Oh, that's exciting. I had one yesterday up in Bellwood. So, and then your Tuesday video. Oh, I can't wait. Hopefully I can take a break from work and watch your video. I love watching your videos. All right, so we're going to use our blends. I'm going to just take the light crumb cake and color in the sand. I'm just going to ground these guys. So it just gives it a little, it doesn't have to be really neat. Just kind of going to go in between his legs. Just give it a little, and then I'll just do it random down here. You can do it all over if you want. All right, well, let's try and do it all over. It doesn't have to be, but that way they're not floating. Okay, and then I'm going to color the meerkat. I'm going to try the meerkat. This one I did in the soft suede. I'm going to try it in the crumb cake and just see how I like it. The Meercats can be many different shades of beige, brown, reddish. Some have black in them. I Googled them because I had never seen one before. So I Googled them to see what they look like. Yeah, I think I like them in crumb cake better than the soft suede. So we'll keep this guy in crumb cake and we'll do a comparison at the end and see. Okay, and then the little gecko, I'm going to take my light old olive and just give him a color, or her, whatever, a color in. Don't know what gender this is. I don't know where you guys are today, but in southern Ontario, it is a gorgeous day outside. It is warm compared to what it's been. It's been bitterly cold all week. So it's really warm and, well, relatively warm. And the sun is shining. And it is just a gorgeous day. You do need to get outside if you haven't been outside yet. Walk the dog or walk you, but do get outside. All right, we're just going to use some of our trusty Tombow and stick this together. Okay. Good thing with the Tombow is you have a few minutes to move it, just to line it up perfectly. And there we are. All right, we still need to color and then cut our cacti. So I'm going to use the light and the dark of the Granny Apple Green. I'm not going to bother with the sand on this because I'm going to be fussy cutting it out. Fussy cutting. People look at me like, what is fussy cutting? Fussy cutting is using scissors. Back like in kindergarten where we used to cut out stuff instead of having die machines. So we just call it fussy cutting. I don't know why we call it fussy cutting. I guess because it's fussy. I don't know. Strange terms we come up with. All right, I'm just going to do this really quickly because I'm sure you really don't want me to be sitting here blending all afternoon. So we'll just do it really quickly. So I do light first. Then I do the shadows in the dark, and then I bring the light back in and just blend the inks around. It's kind of like pulling the dark into the light. And you are actually just moving the ink and blending it. These are our blends. These are our alcohol markers, okay? You do need to be cognizant of, when you use them, that they will bleed through, okay? So you do want to just keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to take our snips and we're just going to cut this. I'm not going to bother keeping all the little spikes around the edge, so I'm just going to cut it out. Cut it out. All right. Where'd it go? I lost it. Yeah, I actually had a class Saturday and then I had one on Thursday too. So I had 2 classes this week. So now I have a little bit of a break where I get to do some creative. All right, I'm not going to stick that on just yet because I want to see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a piece of this, what is this called? Braided burlap trim. Okay, you could use any burlap you want. This is pretty thick. I normally wouldn't use it really in a card, but for this, I'm not going to wrap it around. If I was going to wrap it around, I think it would be way too thick. But I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to tease it out a little bit and just make it, just pull the edges out, kind of distress it a bit. Middle doesn't matter all that much because it's going to be hidden, but the edges, I just want to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere it. Probably, you could use glue dots. You could use snail. I'm going to use fast fuse just because this is retired, but I do love my fast fuse. when it loves me. Watch, it won't work for me. Oh, here it comes. So I'm just doing it on my, and I get it all over me. I'm just doing it on this so that my workspace stays clean without glue. All right, so I'm just gonna turn this around, stick it down, kind of in the middle, and then I'm gonna just take the edges and distress those again a little bit, I just think it looks kind of cool, a little bit rugged. All right, and then we'll take this, I'm gonna pop that up, if I can find my dimensionals. There we are. I even had 2 packs out just in case I couldn't find one. I am learning. I am getting more organized with these videos. It's about time, eh? All right. I have really, really weak nails, so my nails will actually just break even trying to pull these up. So I use my Take-A-Pick tool. Most of the time it works well. Sometimes it gives me hassles, but I just kind of poke it in and lift up, and it takes the backing right off. Just my nails break at the, you just have to look at them and they break. All right, they are so thin, and I keep taking vitamins and everything to try and get them healthier, and they just aren't going there. Put a little bit of Tombow on the back of that, and let's stick it there. All right. Okay, we're almost done the outside. So the inside, we are going to, here, I might as well just stick this on and we'll get it out of the way. I have my cheat sheet there, so I knew what color I had embossed that one with. So this one is the early espresso. I thought it was the soft suede, but soft suede and the early espresso are pretty close together. Okay, stick it there. Front of the card done. How cute is that? Now we're gonna go in and do the inside of the card. So let me move this here where I'll be able to find it hopefully later. And I'm gonna bring in my Stamparatus. So I'm gonna show you another little trick here. I wanted to use, oh, I can't put that there, it's gonna fall. I didn't want the whole stamp to show up. So the stamp that I'm using is from the By the Dock, okay? And all I wanted was for making a difference. I didn't want the thank you in my life. Okay, so I'll show you what I did in order to get that to work. So I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I'm going to line up this. I am going to line up this. And I'm not going to put that on right now. All right, so come trusty Scotch tape. All right. So what I'm going to do is I did the top here. I'm going to, if you're really careful with a pen, you don't need to do the tape, okay? But I'm clumsy and I would get ink everywhere. So I am just going to cover up the parts that I don't want. Okay, I'm not going to color, well, I guess maybe I could try and cover that up. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to take our Stampin' Right marker and we're going to fill it in. Okay, so we're going to just take the brush end and we're going to color over where we want it. I'll show you this again because we'll do this for the second card. Okay, and we're just going to color the part of the stamp that we want. Okay, and I do want this part here. Okay, see how I'm getting ink on here? So if I hadn't put the tape down, then I would be getting ink on the other part of the stamp that I don't want to actually stamp. But the one thing that you do need to remember is before you stamp to remove the tape. Otherwise you will get a nice mess. All right, you do have to move fairly quickly. So I'm going to stick this in here. I am going to remove, peel off the tape, peel off the tape. Okay, sorry if I'm in your way. You probably can't see me, but I am putting this into rubbish. I'm going to give it a huff. Now you will see me come across. And that's just to moisten it again. Bring it down, push it down, and there you go. We have just this part of the saying that we wanted. Okay, we don't have the whole stamp, we just have the part we wanted. And now I'm going to add this one, this is from the Gangs All Meer, and it just says from all of us. So again, oh no, I got it too juicy. We're going to pretend that that's not too juicy and I'll keep going, but I didn't need to press so hard. So I messed that one up, but that's okay. That's the joy of live video. You can't fix it. All right, so we're just going to pretend that that shadow is not there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and actually I'm not going to color it because I'm not going to use this now that I messed that up. But actually I'll show you, I'll color one and show you. All right, so we're going to put him down. And we're going to use some crumb cake, so I'll color in with the light one first. Ah, that's not light. That's dark, Jen. That's dark. Oh, I'm all frazzled now because I messed up. Just keeping it real, eh? Just keeping it real. We all do bad shadows at times. That's just my stamp was too juicy and I pushed too hard. All right, keep going. Sorry, I was distracted. I was trying to see if there's anybody with me, anybody witnessing all these boo-boos. Huh. All right, so I would just bring in my dark. Go over some of the shadows where the Stampin' Up artist let us know we should have shadows. Thank goodness they do that for us. Okay. And there we go. Just give it a blend. Move the colors around. So I always do light, then dark. Add some shadow, and then come back over it with the light and blend it in. Okay, some people do dark first. It's whatever your preference is. My preference is to start lighter and go. All right, so we're going to pretend that this is all finished and that this is perfect. And then we would just put it into our card. All right, so I'm not going to do it because I'm going to make a good one to send to the army, to an individual in the army. So that's the first card. Okay, now it's the exact same design, but instead of the Meercats, we're going to be using someone special. So just let me switch up all the pieces here. Okay, I will clean all of these after, just so you don't have to watch me with my Stampin' Scrub. All right, so for this card, we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to use the Someone Special. So look at these, aren't they cute? And these are, which I didn't realize. I'll tell you a little story. When I, oh, thanks, Claire. It does happen to all of us, doesn't it? I guess it's keeping it real. Keeping it real. So I met my husband, oh, how many years ago now? 20 some odd, 20, 24 years ago, I guess now, in Australia. And when we first came back to Canada, we were walking through campus in Guelph at the university because I was a student there. And my husband was just staring. It was bitter cold. It was one of those, minus 30 days, wind coming across the campus. And he's just standing there staring. And I'm like, what are you doing? Come on, keep moving. And he was looking at a squirrel. He had never seen a squirrel before in his life. And it was like, really? They're everywhere. What do you mean you've never seen a squirrel? Because you don't realize that, not all places have the same flora and fauna and little critters that we do. So this is a very Canadian with the raccoon. What going camping in the the national parks or the Ontario parks and having the raccoons break into your cooler, like that's just very Canadian. So I thought this would be appropriate to send to somebody in the army that's not in Canada and that may be missing the little squirrels running around. All right, so we're gonna do a raccoon. So this stamp set is actually a 2-step stamp set, and I'll show you what that means. Hopefully I can line it up okay on the camera. It is going to be harder on the camera than it will be for you at home, because you do need to line up the stamp set. So I'm going to stamp this guy off a little bit. All right, so I'm going to stamp him here. So each of these little critters comes with a detailed stamp and then a fill-in stamp. And these, watch the magic. So I'm going to take the fill-in stamp now. And I will do my raccoon in crumb cake. Okay, so I'm going to open up the raccoon, ink up. You can see where you have ink and where you don't. Okay, you can see that he's nicely covered. Now, hopefully I can line this up. When you're doing this, you'll be able to line up the eyes, the nose, and the ears. And then if you just come straight down, you should get it. So hopefully, this is where you pray. Whew, it worked. It is hard because you can't put your head over because the camera's in the way. So I can't come straight down on it. So it is a lot harder on camera. It doesn't look like it should be, but it is. I'm not just making excuses for me. All right, so back in with the soft suede. I'm going to use the same thank you because, again, in case you missed the beginning of this, a friend of mine asked if I could make and donate cards to be sent to troops, Canadian troops that are overseas. So I designed this to send to somebody and just thank you that you're awesome, right? You're awesome it's such a dangerous, hard job to be in the military and to be defending us and allowing us to live without fear and with all of our human rights. All right, don't smudge it. There you go, cute. All right, so then we're gonna go on into the inside and let's hope I have better success this time around. Now I'm gonna bring out my trusty Scotch tape again. So why I'm doing this is I don't want all of the words that are on the stamp. And some people will cut their stamp. I haven't gone up that nerve to cut my stamps before. So I'm not cutting it. I'm just going to mask what I don't want. So I'm just putting tape over the part. If you're really, really careful, you don't have to do this. You could go in around with your marker and avoid the spots that you don't want. I am going to put this here so I can see it. Let me get a piece of scrap. I just lost my grass. So when I'm looking for my grass in a little bit, remind me to look on the floor, okay? All right, so we're going to take our Stampin' Right marker. This is the soft suede. I'm taking the brush end and I'm just going to brush up my stamp here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Am I on the camera? Here, I'll move it a little bit. Okay, so the tape is masking the part of the stamp I don't want ink on. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I go off. All right, you do have to do this fairly fast. You want the ink to stay wet so that you get a nice transfer. And that's why people huff. If you've ever seen people huff on their stamps after they've been coloring, or after, if they're, you know, coloring with markers and using different colors on the stamp, you'll see them huff, and that's why. It's to add the moisture back in. All right. So I'm going to remember to peel your tape off, because if you do have ink on it and you don't peel your tape off, then your ink is just going to make a big mess on your paper. Give it a huff, line your paper up, bring it down. Okay, there we go. And then hopefully this time I won't make shadow mess. I'll try and stamp it a little lighter. Got the mouse on here. Okay, let's see. There, much better. All right. I will clean these after so you don't have to watch me clean. Stamparatus, I love it. It is a tool that you should have for sure. Okay, so for the inside, what I did, I will show you really quickly, is I just took my memento, blah, blah, okay, and made a mess on my, it's okay, we're cutting out from here, so it doesn't matter that I have a mess there. Okay, do the outside of the raccoon, do the outside of the squirrel. With the memento, I always just give it a little twist on. I just find I get a better ink coverage if I give it a bit of a twist. Okay, there's the squirrel. And then this cute little mouse. Some people think it's a rat. Maybe it is. I don't know. But he's cute. Whatever it is, it's cute. All right, putting that out of the way. Putting this out of the way. There's lots of stamps. That's the only problem with this one. You need a bigger desk than what the camera will allow. Okay, again, we're going to line this up so you make sure that your stamp is nicely covered. I line up the eyes, the nose, and the ears. And usually if I do that, give it a good push, I get a decent lineup. Okay, so I used crumb cake on the raccoon. I am going to use gray granite on the mouse. Okay, so here's the two-step for the mouse. For this guy, I line up the eyes, the ears, and the tail. Now, I can't see the tail. I'm going to move it a little bit. I'm going to cheat so I can try and see the tail. Okay, you guys might be able to see that better. I can't see if I'm lined up, so I'm guessing. Here we go. Guess. Pray. Let's hope. See how I missed him? This is a lot easier if you can actually get on top of it. I couldn't get on top of it. It's good enough. Good enough. It is very easy though to do two-stepping. Okay, and then the squirrel. Let me move that out of the way before I get ink all over it. Squirrel, I am using smoky slate. You could do smoky slate, you could do black, you could do even Cajun craze for a red squirrel. Okay, and then what we would do is we would take our dies. Yes, that's right, dies. So until March 31st, we have some extra items, we call them coordinating products, that coordinate either with some of the stuff in the mini catalog or some of the stuff in the celebration. And with these guys, we have dies. They're so gorgeous. There's some flowers, some balloons, and then the little critters here, as well as some grass. So we would take this over to our die cutting machine, and power of TV, we have them cut. Now, I did have a piece of grass, which I know I said it fell on the floor. Here it is. I found it. Yay. Okay. So the only reason I'm putting the grass down there is because they look kind of funny, not grounded. I guess you could put them like this and just color in a shadow at the bottom. You could do that. But I just decided that I would stick some grass down, so let's glue that on. This is just old olive, just a piece of scrap, and I cut out with the grass die. All right, and I just line it up along the bottom. Give it a push down. Okay, good thing about Tombow is you have a little bit of time to move it to line it up correctly. Okay, am I still going? I'm still going. Turn it around, give it a snip, throw that in the rubbish, and then place these guys down. You can either, put them flat or you can pop them up. I'm gonna put them flat just because these will need to be mailed, and the twine on the front is very thick. So I'm afraid if I pop these up with that thick twine, that Canada Post won't let us mail them. So I'm just going to glue these guys flat. You could pop them if you're hand delivering, or if you're going into the post office to make sure that you have enough postage on it. Okay, so now we just need to find the fronts. Okay, we will take out our twine again. We're almost done. Okay, let's cut this. So I just cut it a little bit short of the width of the card. Again, tease the end out. Okay, tease the end out. And then I will bring in my, what is this thing called? Somebody help me. My mind just went blank. You cook with it. Anyway, whatever it's called, I can't remember. It will come to me probably at 2 o'clock in the morning. I do use it all the time though. It's great to keep your desk place clean, especially if you're if you have some intricate dies that you're gluing. All right, there's that. We're going to stick this down. I will pop it up just because this is so thick that I want the dimensionals to go on the outside of it. Otherwise it won't glue properly. Take my pick tools, lift them up. All right. We're almost done on this beautiful Sunday. I hope you guys have been able to get out, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the warmth. It was so nice going grocery shopping and have the warm sun on your face. Oh, sometimes I work from home a lot of the time, and my office is in the basement, and sometimes it feels like I don't see this light of day. When I come down here, it's still kind of dark. And then when I go upstairs for dinner, it's dark. And sometimes I don't see the light. So it's so nice. You gotta get out there. Okay, so this I didn't put on very well. So I'm gonna lift it back up. I'm trying to rush here. So just line it up. Good thing with the Tombow is you do have a little bit of time to fiddle. How cute is that? Oh, I love these guys. Love them. They are so cute. All right, so glue the inside, and I have, well, 1.5 cards ready to send to the military. So again, if anybody is interested in helping design some cards, make some cards, send some cards, I'd love, you know, to get a whole bunch of people together and just show that, you know, the people, the folks that are away from home, that we're thinking of them and that we appreciate everything that they do. So I hope that you have enjoyed making these cards with me today. I will be posting all the measurements and everything that we needed to make them on my, at the bottom of the Facebook video. I'll go in and edit it, and I'll also make a blog post as well and post the video there. So please come in and watch the video, and I hope you enjoyed these cards. Have a great week. Enjoy the long weekend if you're in an area with the long weekend, and we will talk soon. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye.